It's long, it's lengthy, but give me a couple minutes out of your day, okay? My mom worked at a nail salon. She'd leave the house at 9:42 and come home at 7:30. And sometimes before I could hug her, she'd say, "Don't, I feel dirty, let me shower." So I'd see her in half an hour. At dinner, I'd ask, "How was your day?" And most times she'd say, "Same thing, low on tips today and my neck and shoulder ache, but I'm okay." But she wasn't. I knew that inside she felt like she threw her time away in a place where her energy died, but she had to stay because there were bills to pay, and my mother is a hustler and she doesn't want to feel like an object this country put on layaway. And then one day she had to stay home, and that salon closed since we were now exposed to the deadliest virus known. And no, I don't mean corona. I mean the one that landed my Asian brothers and sisters in hospital beds, and unfortunately some on their deathbeds across the country because our kin were beaten and blamed for a virus that your leader failed to tame, and your friends used slurs to set them aflame with hatred that has no roots other than the pure disdain of an unknown people. But you see, even that adjective is crazy to me, because how can we be unknown when these people have consumed so much of our identities through TV screens and music streams while eating our beloved delicacies? Surely we must be seen. It is so perplexing to me that people can give us such a hostile yet timid look when they look into our eyes now, the very eyes that were circulating the internet because suddenly having fox eyes was a trend, yet we were mocked in school for years on end as people pulled their eyes back while spitting words like chink and asking, "Can you even see?" I think I've come to the realization that they only like us when it is the right occasion, because to them our culture is solely an accessory, one they indulge in as they please while switching up the narrative on our people to best fit their needs and erase their guilt and insecurities while pitting us minorities against each other. See, we only cross their minds when they are stuck in a delusion of a Korean boy fantasy, a fantasy they would dismiss if he didn't look as pale and tall, but instead eyes small, nose flat, without the tats and voice alluring. Their obsession quickly fades when it is made clear that we don't all look like the stars on stage. It strikes me as strange because our men were both desexualized and villainized because white men felt insecure a century or so ago when Chinese men were building your railroads. Oh, but they must think their debt is paid because now they've changed their taste to fetishizing our Asian women. You should be flattered. We think you're attractive. My skin crawls because their desire for us does not mean we are admired. Instead, it means they see us as exotic and spicy. We are just boxes that they want to check off on a list, and collectibles like the Pokemon cards that they traded. Our only purpose is to give them a happy ending, as if we were begging for them to love us long time. To them, we have no personalities, we are simply commodities. Why would we ever dream of things like breaking the glass ceiling when we could just have a knight in shining armor that makes us feel things? But hey, isn't lust harmless at the end of the day? Why don't you say that to the families that lost their mother, sister, daughter, wife, and more, to the bullets of a terrorist who was just having a bad day and had a sexual addiction, so he decided to target places that made him feel tempted, as if the women there were trying to seduce him because the media has reduced them to fragile flowers and vixens? I thought I did not have the words to say, but as I've been coping by crafting this poem all day, it seems I have too much to say because I am in utter dismay at the situation that my community is in. If we were silent before, we are now loud for sure, because we cannot afford to keep being unseen and unheard while our people and culture are hated yet observed. I thought I did not have the words to use, but I have simply been confused for so long as to why men approached me saying, "You're a cute little foreign thing," yet when I was younger, people told me they'd never date a ling-ling. See, for me, being Asian in America is watching somebody else tell your story and using it for propaganda. We feel happy when the beauty of our people and our culture is seen, but to some degree we wonder, is it truly what it seems? It is being in a sort of gray area, an endless conundrum, because we don't want to be a burden, yet we want someone to listen. We don't know whether to feel gratitude or frustration, because just 2 days ago, we held a celebration for the multiple first Asian American Oscar nominations, and now we're struck with devastation for the 6 Asian women murdered at those massage parlors. Do you now understand just a fraction of the feelings I harbor towards this country? Do you understand now that mocking our parents' accents was never funny, and even when I laughed, it was because I didn't know better, but now I do better, and so should you. Can you finally comprehend how angry it makes me to see people simping over K-pop singers and anime characters when they wouldn't even type 280 characters to speak up for Asian Americans, but will type up a storm over a petty fan war? Or how people will put chopsticks in their hair and wear our clothes with tears and all the wrong intentions, but fail to mention the suffering of the people whose culture they're appropriating? It is 4 in the morning, and I don't think I can pour all my feelings into these stanzas, so this will have to do. Tell my fellow Asian Americans, I love you. I am here, and I hope others are too. Please take up space, take up so much space that they have to see us, and after today, they will always see us. No, it is not easy because being loud is scary, but we are not burdens, simply humans trying to fit in, but I think it's time we stand out because for too long our feelings have been hidden. I know it may be tough because we are used to thinking, let's not do too much because we've been told our lives are white adjacent or we have high incomes and such, so we would rather advocate for someone else. And though that is perfectly well, don't let others diminish your story to tell and try your best not to do it yourself. And no, we are not perfect. That model is a myth. We still have issues that we seem to miss, and I hope we work with diligence so those issues cease to exist. To everyone else, I hope my words leave you questioning what else you can do to help, but furthermore, I implore you to re-examine yourself and those around you. Recognize the assumptions that you've internalized and move forward with an adjusted frame of mind. I am only one out of many, so I can only tell my story, but there are many others with different perspectives, and if you are attentive, you may learn something new. My mom worked at a nail salon. She had lots of bad days too. Make it so that I don't have to worry about if she'll be able to come home at the end of those days.